Hi guys, Tamara here from Create Your Future. I am your law of assumption coach as well as a licensed therapist. And today guys, I have what I hope to be a pretty useful video for all of you out there. I'm going to be talking about why the opposites manifest. Okay? Before I start, I just want to remind you guys that I am doing my October sale for now, and I'm giving 25% off my full coaching sessions and 20% off mini sessions. You can use codes Tamara25 for the full ones and Tamara20 for the mini ones. So if you need some help detaching, embodying a state, realizing what your true desire is, you have any questions about the law, feel free to have a coaching session with me. So, back to today's topic, guys. This is something I think almost every single client has ever asked me since I became a coach. And we have all been there, okay? So, no judgment whatsoever. I'm not here to scold you and to tell you that you failed because you made this mistake, you didn't do this properly. Again, as I've said before, and I'm going to keep saying this, there is no failure. There is no failure when it comes to the law, guys. And the reason is very simple. If you can choose your state moment to moment, how can you ever fail? You can never fail. You can only fail if you imagine that there is some kind of deadline that you have to meet, date by which you have to embody a state, you have to make a decision, otherwise everything is going to crumble. But in reality, there is no such thing, okay? The mere ending of this process is when your consciousness doesn't have this body to use to shift states and experience things in the 3D. Okay? But by that time, you have plenty of years, decades to just decide who you want to be, what you want to experience, embody that state, keep deciding to embody the state, keep detaching from any state that is not aligned with your desire. Okay? And it's a moment-to-moment decision-making process. So, when the opposite happens, it usually happens because of these two big things. Okay? The first thing I observe in my clients is being double-minded. And I'm sure you have heard of this before. And like many of my clients, I'm also pretty certain that you are sure that you're not double-minded. But in my sessions, I like to dig deeper. And my sessions are informal, of course, conversations, but also questioning form. I keep questioning my clients and digging around their awareness to find what they're struggling with. Okay? So I've experienced this many times before. A client comes to me, maybe it's a new client, maybe I met them once or twice, but they come to me and they tell me, well, Tamara, I've done the work, I've changed my mindset, I decided who I want to be, and the opposite happened. I decided to be with my SP, and now he's with a third party. Why did this happen? How did this happen? Okay. I believe that you have decided once, twice, maybe 5 times. I also believe that you've done the work, whatever that is. By the way, you've never heard me using the term or telling my clients they need to do the work, because there is no work to do. This is decision-making process again. So this is not, I'm going to put so much effort and then something out there is going to reward me for this. Okay? None of that. So, but they have heard this out there on the internet, that they did the work, they're pretty sure, and they also did all of the techniques. They scripted, they affirmed millions of times, and the opposite happened. Why is that, Tamara? How did this happen? And then I begin the questioning process. So I keep asking questions in order to discover what they're actually focused on and what they have been focusing on. And 100% of the time that I've done this, I've noticed they were double-minded. Like this. I'm going to give you an example of a client I had yesterday. She's fairly new, and we are focusing on her embodying a state of being chosen by her specific person and being together in a relationship. She's coming from a different identity who is feeling rejected and believes that the SP has third parties and doesn't like her. So we decided, we did the exercise, we put her in the state she desired, and then maybe a couple of weeks passed, and in the meantime, we had one session. She saw movement. She was like, I saw my SP, and we just had lunch out of the blue. Like that had never happened. And the guy kept staring at me the whole time. I just knew, Tamara, that he likes me. And I was like, awesome, great. I'm happy for the movement. But don't be like blindsided. Don't, keep your eyes on the prize. Your goal here is to experience relationship with this person, okay? So whatever needs to happen, on the way, it's going to happen. Enjoy that. Use this as like reinforcement and use this to remember things are happening the way, in the way they should. But don't let that distract you from your desired state, your goal, your end, okay? And she was like, yes, you're right. And then yesterday, we had a second session after the movement. And she said, well, Tamara, you're not going to believe, I was talking to my SP and I proposed a gathering of sorts. It was, I believe, some kind of festival in her hometown. I'm not sure. And, he took 2 days to reply. But it's okay because, he does that. Ever since we became friends, he always, went back to me 2 days later. But that's fine because I sometimes do that too. And I know he's friendly. And I was like, where is this coming from? Didn't you tell me last time, just a couple of weeks back, that you guys are dating, that you had lunch, that you know that this person likes you romantically? Do you see how from this identity's perspective, from this state, it doesn't make sense for you to accept a story that somebody likes you only as a friend and doesn't want to respond, in like 2 days' time? Do you see how that is being double-minded? And she was like, yeah, I don't know what happened. That didn't happen before I accepted this story. So, and of course, the movement stopped in the meantime. She experienced, well, not the exact things she experienced. Like there was no rejection of that sort, but there was no movement, no communication, no flirting, no, confessions of attraction, no dates, nothing. Why? Because she was embodying a person. Now, first story was we are dating. He likes me. He's attracted to me. And all of a sudden, she started embodying a person who is not dating her SP. And in fact, she has been friends with her SP. So it's okay that they don't talk for 2 days. She's fine with that. You can't have both, guys. You can't be friends with your SP, but at the same time, be dating your SP. You can't have amazing communication with your SP and at the same time be aware of being in no contact, not getting a reply. You can't know that your SP is attracted to you and flirting with you, and then suddenly accept a story that, they like you, they're very nice, but they're probably being friendly. Nothing more. That right here, my friends, is being double-minded. And it happens to everybody. So I'm making this video again, just to remind you of this and to let you know that it happens to everybody. It's normal, but this is the number one reason why things go south pretty quickly and why you're seeing either the opposite or nothing at all. Movement and then nothing. Movement and then the opposite. You revert back because you're being double-minded. The second biggest reason is you're settling. You're settling. And I'm going to give an example of a different client of mine. This client wanted to be debt-free. And I made a video of his success story. I'm going to link this down below so you can go and watch that success story after this video. His problem was he was settling like this. So his real desire, his actual end goal was to be debt-free, to pay off his college debt. But instead of embodying that state of somebody who is debt-free, abundant, financially stable, has no money problems, whatever, he was trying to settle for a state of somebody who got a raise at work. But when you get a raise, guys, you have more responsibilities, maybe more working hours. That is something that he did not want to experience. So what do you think happened when he started embodying the version, the state of somebody who was promoted? Nothing. Let's cut to the chase. Nothing happened. And he was struggling for months. And I kept telling him, you're limiting yourself and you're settling. You keep telling me that you want to be debt-free, yet you keep choosing to go and try to embody a state of somebody who was just promoted. But that doesn't mean you're debt-free. You can be promoted and have like 5% increase and not cover your debts. Like still struggle. And knowing this, you have no motivation, like no deeper motivation to go back to this state over and over again. And he was like, you're right. Let's go straight to my actual end. So guys, don't settle. Don't be double-minded. Make a decision. Make a decision to embody your real end. Okay? Regardless of what it is. And keep choosing it over and over again. That's the only way to be consistent with this and not just to see movement, but to actually experience what you want in the end. I don't care about movements. I always tell my clients, I'm happy for you. That's awesome. Nice. Keep going. But never forget, keep your eyes on the prize. You're here to experience X, Y, and Z because you can. You're not here to settle or be distracted by something, movement or no movement. We don't care about that. We go straight to our end, to our desired end, and we're going to keep going back there until we have this in our physical hands. Okay? You can do this, guys. I know you can. I hope you found this video helpful, educational. I wish you a nice weekend, guys, and see you in the next video. Okay? Bye!